Hi, I'm Dr. Jill Sackman. I am the founder and lead veterinarian of Animal Behavior Consultants of Michigan. I'm a veterinary behaviorist who sees cats, dogs, and horses in my behavior practice. And I am thrilled to have Caitlin Thomas Colvin here with me today from a Canine Turbo Training. And we are going to talk a little bit about New Year's resolution setting for our dogs and families, I think, really. And how do we get started? New Year's has always been a kind of a set goals for the year time, clean slate, and with the new kind of year. And I've yet to meet, including myself, anyone with a pet who doesn't have goals of things that they'd like to work on. So we're here to talk about that today. Caitlin, little introduction maybe. I know everybody probably knows you and your work, and then we'll get started.
So my name is Caitlin Thomas. I am the owner and a behavior consultant at Canine Turbo Training, and I am really excited about helping people and their dogs. So that's why we're here today. I know Dr. Sackman is too. So New Year's resolutions. So something that I've been, our personal New Year's resolution, I just got a new dog, but for myself, a New Year's resolution I have for myself was just to get outside more. So that's one that's, I've just had such a hard time. It's like I just cannot make the time. And so I want to be more active. I've been sitting at my computer a lot and not doing a ton of exercising, not been active. So my goal was to be more active, right? So what does that look like? I don't know. So as I was thinking about like, what could I do? What does that look like? Going to the gym or exercising with a friend or that kind of thing. And I just was thinking about how guilty I feel. The guilt of like, I'm leaving my dog, I'm leaving the kids. It's like being away from home is hard. And I just thought, okay, you're never going to do that. It's just the guilt is going to eat you alive. So what I decided was that I would turn that goal into just spending more time in nature with my dogs and with the kids. So that's been the biggest, I think that's sort of our biggest resolution. And with that, I'm hoping to kind of, a secondary goal for myself is just to be off of technology more. There's so many like meetings and stuff like that. And so my goal is just to put everything away. So like leave it in my car, don't take it out. And so I was thinking about what that looks like. And my thought was, I'm trying to find ways to sort of let my dog like explore the world and, sniff and explore and sort of kind of just enjoy nature too, instead of like walking in a neighborhood.
Just
So
be, yeah, just
yes.
wander, sniff. Yeah,
Oh,
enjoy.
yes. So for me, I thought, well, I want to do that too. So I am going to have a goal of taking my dog out at least once a week. We're going to go to a park, a big park with not a lot of dogs. I'm going to bring a long line and I'm just going to let him sniff. I'm going to leave my phone in the car. I'm going to do a good amount of walking mixed with a good amount of stopping and sniffing. And when I have him stop to sniff, my plan is just, let's just watch and enjoy the world,
Oh, I
just
love that, Kate. I'm feeling relaxed already, I have to tell you.
that's like Zen.
It goes in. And even, and I think you bring up a really great point about winter, although it's chilly where we are. I don't know if everybody's listening to us in a cold climate, but it can be cold and damp. There is
Mhm.
often fewer people and dogs out, so that gives you more opportunity to just enjoy that space together, whether you have a dog who reacts to people or other dogs or not. I think that alone contemplative time and quiet, I take binoculars with me because who knows if I see an
Oh,
interesting animal or bird in the distance. And I sometimes I use those long lines too. I don't know if everybody has a long line, but they're fabulous. I actually just made a friend of mine made one for me over the holidays, and it's just this light polypropylene 25 footer because I have a little dog. And boy, did he have fun just running in the end of that line and feeling freedom himself. And I can put that as I don't know if you use the waist belts for leashes sometimes, which gives you hands free. So if I've got binoculars or something in my pockets, I'm not dropping my leash. So those are nice investments, whether you make one yourself or you buy one. There's tons available online.
yeah.
That's a good
Wow.
And sniffing. Oh my gosh, that is the way the dog sees the world, isn't it?
Oh, I know it's so, I do feel like there's, even for myself who knows the value, it's like part of me is like, oh gosh, okay, it's this time. All right, now we have to head
Hold
home.
on.
Yes, yes. And I mean, I'm the biggest advocate for let them sniff. And sometimes it is sort of like, okay, if it's not intentional time, it's hard to allow that much time, you know. What's your sort of strategy for being intentional about time, or, you know, planning ahead, or that kind, what does that look like for you?
Oh, I like you, days get busy, you get tied into technology or things that need to get done, and sometimes that long walk gets put to the end of the day and it just doesn't happen. So for me, if I'm not putting some kind of schedule together, I tend to be a list maker. Even I like make lists even on things I've already done so you can check them off. I don't know about you? I'm kind of
Me
compulsive that way.
too.
Makes me feel better.
Oh,
But if I literally put a schedule together and then honor that, it really helps. And it's to me more than just like I might have my schedule for the day, but it'd be like on a Sunday or Monday, you just say, this is what the week looks like. These are my best days. Weather looks
yeah.
good here. You put it on the calendar and you make it just kind of a sacred time.
Mhm.
And it might be for families, the time, you might take one of your children with you for a walk, or you're going to, do something together as a family. So you need to make sure everybody's available. And I tend to think one person in the family usually ends up being accountable. Have you found that to be true? Yes, or the families I consult with is always like maybe the oldest child or the wife, sometimes the husband too. So I think that time if we sit down and talk about who could be accountable for making sure we get all this together and we actually get out, or, maybe this week I'm busy, so who else is going to take the dog out for the walk? And they're so joyful. I feel like the dogs outside, I get joy from that too, watching them enjoy it. So but having a calendar
Mhm.
that you make assignments to, and it doesn't have to be I as clients, I love the engineer who is into the spreadsheets. They're cool. I get into that, but it doesn't have to be. I tell people it can be tear a page out of a ring binder notebook or those magnetic post-its that go on your fridge. It's just a reminder that that's what everybody's, who's committed to what and then what day.
Yeah.
Really helps for me if I have a schedule. If I get into a week without a schedule, I'm very stressful actually.
You know, it's funny as you're saying that, I'm thinking about what does it look like for when I have tried to do more of like the gym type of a thing. Historically, what
Mhm.
happens is that I do have to put it in my calendar. Otherwise, I have all the best intentions and it just doesn't happen.
Just
Um,
doesn't happen.
so
Yeah.
I like that. Like it's like an appointment. It's a date that you have with yourself and your
Mhm.
family. I mean, I was just reading this thing last night actually that was talking about the value and importance in allowing children to have downtime and like that boredom time or like before bed rest time that's like no technology, no TV, no real, the person is not like jumping in or the parent is not jumping in to like fill their brain constantly and kind of giving them time to like have use their imagination
Exactly.
and kind of be and like develop their own sense of like creativity and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
And as I was reading that, I just was thinking like, oh gosh, it kind of falls into that of like this could be our quiet nature time. Like,
Oh, that is really true. It's a down we pack our lives with so much. This is a really used to think of it as kind of maybe a luxury. It's not. I think it's a necessity, huh? That you just go out and you explore and you wander without necessarily having an agenda of what we're going to do, which is good.
something that they brought up in that was really interesting. They just sort of made a small note on like the need for downtime now is, the need for children to have that downtime or animals in this case,
Mhm.
to have that downtime and sort of just quiet time out in the world, kind of creating their own activities and project, if we're out on a long
Mhm.
line or what are we going to sniff and what are we going to do? Is probably, it's the same as it's always been, but now it's probably even more important in this world of constant activity to be more purposeful, instead of it's like we're so busy scheduling just like from soccer to this meeting to that meeting to, whatever it is that it's like scheduling downtime now is sort of like what scheduling crazy, busy
Right,
activities
right. Or some
like,
kind of yes. Yeah.
yes.
You have to put a
So
block in, I'm gonna take time away.
Totally. I like that a lot. It's funny how that is. Like I feel like the world used to be much slower. So if we slow it down, it's a little,
No, we slow it down, we actually become more productive. I
oh,
feel like if I can take that hour, I get back to my scheduled work and I'm so much more
yes,
productive because my brain is fresher. So, and,
yes.
our dogs appreciate that too. They just love to go out and feel like we're with them. And we can still do a little training with that too. It's fun to throw in on a long line a recall. Hey, look at me focus, because don't we all, if we're walking with a friend, like to feel like we're walking together, not somebody off
Yes.
doing their own thing. So I'll work on that. A little bit of that. Come in, recall, eye contact. You hear me? Call you. Come back in. So
Yeah.
that's all valid training. And I think sometimes folks forget that training for dogs really happens in a couple, little sessions of 3 to 5 minutes apiece. And incorporating that into things you're already doing is really the best way to get training done. When I first started training, I would do things like, well, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I had class one night, the dog, the next night I was working for an hour, and
Mhm.
it got to be one. I don't think my dog really at the time, probably he put in with me, but was probably
Yeah.
done after 15 minutes.
Yes.
The other, it was hard for me to always schedule that time
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
that. So whether it's working on a go lay in your mat or not jumping, I guess, at the door, or learning to wear a basket muzzle. Having that integrated into something you're already doing, like take a treat, you've got to sit and wait for it. Take a treat's got to come out of your basket muzzle. Things we're already doing.
Yeah.
That is the best way to train. And sometimes that takes a little scheduling or thinking about it ahead of time.
Yeah. You know what I started to do, which, I love that. It's sort of like, let's schedule the time to give yourself the freedom to get out and spend downtime, and then stop feeling like you have to schedule an hour block to train,
To train.
Yes. And what we started doing, because again, it's like, this is what I do all day. And it's very hard when you get into into the groove where you're just sort of living life, was I just started sticking a sticky note on a certain area where I always go, it's like before bed. So by my toothbrush, I just have a little sticky note that just says it only takes 3 minutes. And after that, that's sort of my, like, it's already in my routine. Every night I brush my teeth, so it's my reminder. And I have treats in my bedroom where we do a little thing, kind of, we usually do go to the mat.
Mhm, mhm,
And
mhm.
or wait in your crate, it's kind of like our downtime. And that has just changed my world. Like, you don't have to spend so much time. And I won't remember. I mean, I need some kind of reminder in the world where I will be anyways. So I love that. I love that idea.
The sticky, and you know what? I think it only takes 3 minutes is going to be my phrase for the year,
Oh,
because that's
it's
really all it takes, right?
it is. It's so nice. It's like, I always sort of am like, I don't have time. And you're like, well, I'm here anyways. Stop thinking that you don't have time. You have time. It's just a little block, I'd spend it on Facebook otherwise. So,
Right, right.
or
Or
like checking my email.
something, yeah, going through email or something like.
Totally. Totally. Oh gosh. Well, I love this. Thank you so much. Those are great. I love this stuff.
Got some good stuff. Well, I hope this has given some tips to folks on how to get the year started on all those training goals that maybe have been on lists or things they'd like to accomplish. And hopefully we'll have a good year, lots of relaxing walks in nature, and add to our training capabilities. Good to see you again, Caitlin. Thanks for joining me
Oh,
today.
Dr. Sackman, I'll see you soon.
All right. See you soon,
All
Caitlin.
right. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye now.